Which card is calling you today? Card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4. Hello and welcome to this reading. So it's up to you. There's 4 cards. You can choose 1, 2, 3 or 4, or you might be drawn to 2 cards or 3 cards or all the cards. Either way, just follow what is right for you and listen to your own intuition. It'll give you little insights or little inklings that, hey, this is for you, Take notice of those little gut feelings that you're getting. I hope these readings are helpful for you and you get something out of them. Please let me know below what comes up for you, what card was for you. Also too, if you feel that these messages or these readings could help someone else or give them insight to where they're at, please do share or tag them or let them know somehow that, these readings are here to help provide that insight and hopefully be able to give you some insight that is beneficial to where you're at and to move forward in your life. All right, I look forward to the reading for you. Bye. Welcome to card 1 reading. So this card is for you. This is your card. So I haven't turned the cards over yet. I wait until in the moment. So as I'm flipping over, I normally get some reading or get some insight to, what's coming and that too. So also do listen to your own intuition. Your own intuition might add some messages into this for you as well. So let's get started. So card 1. Rise. I think this card, this is the 3rd intuitive readings I've done on here, and I think this card has come up every time. So what is the message in that? Is there, what are you putting off? What I feel like what you need to do or what you need to do, whether it's something internal or external, the next step. It's time to take that step. This card is not a reinforcer now, it's a kick up the butt kind of thing. This is the 3rd time this has come out. So if you've chosen this in the other readings, this is very important. Something needs to... It's like if I don't take the action, even the baby step to move forward in that direction, I'm feeling very stuck, very bogged down. So, if you're feeling bogged and stuck, it's because you're not taking that step forward, not moving with what needs to come. This, even the tiny step forward will help relieve that bogged down, heavy feeling. It's about taking those baby steps, and where you can take those leaps, always follow your own intuition and do what is right for you. Only you know you better than anybody else. So it's time to, make that step forward, make that move or that connection in whatever way it is, even the teeniest, tiniest way, but it is now time to do something with that. It's really time to do it. So let's have a look at the card. I've got my Rubus tea. It's a bit still hot too. A bit hot. I feel like this is more internal now. Now that I'm looking at the card, I'm really drawn to looking at the lady in this card. And I feel like there's something in your gut, there's something that, needs to happen and it's time to do it. And it doesn't matter how important it is. It's just, if it's important to you, it's important. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean by that. It's like, don't sell yourself short. Don't undersell yourself. Don't think, oh, it's not needed or it's not whatever and that. Yes, some people are going to love it. Some people aren't going to love it. But at the end of the day, this is something that you really need to do for you in order to move forward, to make progress. It just feels like without doing this, there's that real stuckness and bogging downness. And I'm also feeling like really connecting to your womb space. So I say womb space because not all of us have wombs. I don't have mine either. But you still have that energetic womb space. So that's what I'm talking about when I say womb space. It's that energetic space as well. So really connecting with that, what is, and taking time to slow down, hands on your womb, and really connecting with that space and even listening. I feel like there's messages there, and these will help you to guide you along your way and give you bits of insight. But it's also about listening to your body and what's going on, and this is part of it. So really Okay, so to help move forward with whatever it is that you need to, it's also being asked that you take care of yourself, take care of your physical body. I know we like to be in the spiritual world, but I know for me, ignoring that physical aspect has led to more health challenges and issues and chronic pain and all that kind of stuff. So, when I really, in my early 20s, even though spirituality and all that kind of stuff is throughout my childhood, it wasn't until I was in my 20s that I really took my own personal journey with it, not from, being family members or anything like that. And yeah, and the one thing I realized when I got really sick, what I really reflected on is that I really neglected my physical body and took it for granted. And, fad dieting and all that kind of stuff is really detrimental. So I never really took care of my body, never really took notice of it as much as I kind of wish I did now. And the thing is, it was kind of, I think, that thought belief that my physical body isn't part of that spirituality. I want to do the spiritual stuff and all that. But the thing is that I came to realize is, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and part of that human experience is that physicalness, because in that spiritual world there's not physicalness. So part of our spiritual journey or experience is having this physical body and all its constraints and all its wonderful or weird things that it does. It's so really, how can you incorporate some spiritual aspects or work or joy or fun in including your physical body, taking care of your body. Start using your intuition to connect with your body in a way of listening to your body. What is it saying to you? What does your body need in order to feel good? What does it need in order just to get through the day? Is it thirsty? Is it hungry? Or is it, can you sit still long enough with your body and the presence of your body and your mind and your emotions? Our emotions are very powerful. Even though I call them light and heavy, I don't call them negative, positive, or anything like that, good or bad, because the bad that I call heavy, I don't call them bad anymore, because they are good. They have benefits. If you are walking down somewhere and about to go down an alley, and all of a sudden you get this really heavy, icky, horrible feeling in your gut, you want to be listening to that. That's there. I'm getting goosebumps. That's there to protect you. That's saying to you, no, don't go down there. Find another way. That's not safe. So if we didn't have those heavy feelings, we wouldn't get those warning signs. So it's really what heaviness comes up for you. And also too, a lot of people don't like sitting still because they're alone with their thoughts. What are your thoughts telling you? What's coming up with your thoughts? What are things from the past that may be coming up that it's time to heal, to look at, to address as well? I feel like let's pull another card to, oh God, there's all jumping out, to so don't rush this process too. This, it's baby steps. It's just taking one step at a time. Those teeny, if you've watched a baby or toddler start walking, they fall many times, and it's something that takes a lot of practice to perfect. And even at our age and older, we have falls still, so that's kind of a bit of an analogy to life. It goes well, and then we tumble, we get back up, and we keep going. All right, now I'm taking my time. All right, what card is going to go with this one? Let's have a look. Ooh, this one came up too. Death. Time to let go of that old you. And like I was saying before, I feel like this is really enforcing that spirituality, but with the physical body. Letting go of just focusing on one area. We're a lot of different areas. I call them key areas. There's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, environmental, financial, relationship, work. I'm sure there's more areas of your life. But there's a certain ones that it's time to tie out loose ends. Do you know what I mean? So maybe with that bogginess and heaviness also too, and tuning in with your body and asking, what are the loose ends? What are those things that I can cut those cords, I can cut those ties, I can surrender, I can let go in order to move forward with this. Remember I said there was something holding back, something, that heaviness and bogginess and all that sort of stuff. So to help move forward with that with a bit more ease, it's time to take those things and to cut them, to let them go. What is no longer serving you? Yes, this can be a painful process, and letting go can be painful, and letting go of things like friendships, family relationships, work, colleagues, ambitions, dreams, and all that kind of stuff. It's time to let those go that no longer serve. You've grown, you've experienced more. It's time to evaluate them and go, hey, this no longer serves me anymore. It's time to let this go. Because by doing that, that's going to help with that, I said that stuckness and bogginess. By doing that work, you're going to cut those ties, and it's going to help just ease forward, to move forward a bit more with that stuckness. So even what I'm feeling with this at the minute is some maybe what we told as a child, like things like, oh, that's not good enough, or that's crap, that's horrible, that's shit, don't cry, don't get angry, you naughty boy, you naughty girl, you naughty child, and all the other things. What I'm feeling with this is looking at those things. What were things that you were told as a kid? And because of those people, caregivers and all that sort of stuff, because we're very impressionable as children and we look up to them, and that we take on their beliefs, and there's a cyclic thing too, okay? This is not just let's blame our parents. This is a cyclic thing that goes way back. So it's more ancestral healing for that. But look at those beliefs, that you're not good enough or anything like that, because are they truly your beliefs, or are they beliefs from the shit people told you growing up? I'm getting goosebumps. Really sit down, get a pen and paper, and this is some shadow work. Sit down and write down the things that you believe about yourself, that you think you believe about yourself. So thoughts that you believe at yourself currently. So, I'm not good enough, I'm bossy, I'm blah, 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 I'm a liar, or, all these things that people have told you and you've heard and what you feel. And then once you've got them, so it's a good idea to get a A4 piece of paper, put a line down the middle, and say on the left side, write down those thoughts, beliefs, and all that sort of stuff you have of yourself. And once you've done that, then on the right side, next to each section, go through and ask yourself, take as long as you need, and you may need to do this in a number of sittings, because more stuff will keep coming up once you open that, peeling those layers, there's more there. And sit with them and go, is this truly my belief, or has it come from somewhere else? And really listen to your intuition and what comes up. And from there, you can sort of go, and then even if you get another piece of paper and put there, go, okay, so what are my beliefs of me? And to be honest, when I did this, I realized I sat there and I left it and I came back, and I sat there and I sat there and I left it and I came back, and I was like, I don't actually have any original of Belle Belinda's thoughts and feelings. All my thoughts and feelings of me are what others have said to me, or stuff that I've taken on and all that kind of stuff. So, and even now stuff still comes up and all that sort of stuff, but because of this and I'm aware of it, it gets easier and easier. It does. Like, I don't necessarily have to, sometimes I do have to sit and write things down, but at times now I don't have to. I can just do it because it's sort of a habit skill I've got. But yeah, so really looking at, especially when I go to do something, especially in the business, there's a lot of, imposter syndrome that comes up, and who the hell am I, and, all that kind of stuff. And I sit there and I look at it, and it's like, yeah, because when I went to do things as a child or present things to certain parents and all that kind of stuff, being told not nice things and all that kind of thing, and it's like, whoa. But I realised I had no thoughts of me. None of them were original. None of them were me. I was never taught to think for myself in the way of how I truly feel about myself and myself and my abilities and all that kind of stuff. So it felt like a slap in the face. What does it feel like for you? I don't know. Like, it was just like a bit of a, what? Whoa, it was mind-blowing for me. And so then I had to working on my thoughts and feelings of myself. But like I said, stuff still comes up and I still look at it. and all that sort of stuff. So it is peeling back the onion. It does get easier. So when I feel those feelings of not lacking confidence or self-esteem or self-worth or anything like that, I'm like, okay, where's this come from? Is there something in my childhood that this has stemmed from, this root cause? It's not always childhood. Sometimes, actually, no, a lot of it's childhood. Some of it might be past life. Some of it might be later in life, in your 20s or teens or, you know, all that kind of stuff. But so I feel into it, and I find sometimes, well, actually, a lot of the times, I don't get answers straight away. On the odd occasion, I do. But I go, universe, I'll hand it over to you, and I'll look out for the answers. So then what will happen over the next few days, I'll start getting flashbacks. Certain incidents from my childhood will randomly pop up, and then I'll go, why the hell has that come up, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll sit with it and go, oh, hang on a minute. I asked a question the other day, and this is my answer. This is what's come up. This incident or experiences that happened in my childhood, this is why it's influencing me now. This is why my self-esteem's like, my confidence besides perimenopause confidence and like it really exacerbates things. So a lot of things come to the surface. So that confidence really came exacerbated. Like I could do lives and videos all the time. I couldn't do them anymore. I mean, I had other like endo issues and adenomyosis and all that sort of stuff. But my confidence, I still couldn't do it. Like even like the physical stuff, but just I didn't have the confidence. And when I started looking at stuff comes up. Stuff comes back. Okay, I can do some inner child healing, tune into my intuition, my body, maybe pull some cards for myself, do some journaling, maybe meditation, talk to Dave, all that kind of stuff, and just work through it and see what comes up. Anyway, that was a bit of a long one. I hope that helped. Hope that makes sense. If not, please let me know so I can explain maybe in another video or in another way or in the comments. And I really hope that helps. So, oops, sorry. So this was the card that was in the pile on the altar. So this was card 1, and it was Rise, and then the card behind that was 7. I'm not going to go into all that again because that was huge. So I hope that helps. Let me know down below. And again, if this feel like this could help somebody, please do share. All right, thank you. Hello and welcome to card 2. So let's get into it. I don't flip them over until I'm here because sometimes I like to flip them over and you get to see my reaction and see what comes up. Sometimes it does, but sometimes I can flip a card and a whole stuff comes out. So I like to pull them out so you can see. So Drought. Okay, we haven't had this one. The card 1 was a butt kicker one. It's come out in, that card's come out in the last 3 card readings on here. So yes, so if you're after a butt kicker message, go there. Okay, so card 2, Drought. Okay. So what the first question I'm hearing, and I hope this makes sense to you, because sometimes some of these readings I do, don't make sense to me, and I feel like I'm just gibberish and I make no sense and a bit like what the fuck kind of thing. But people get messages out of them and good feedback, so it's learning to trust that part of your intuition. So what is drying out? It's saying some things need to be dried out, but then some things need some of your attention too. I feel like this is an inner journey. She's facing inwards, really turning inwards, really looking. Sometimes if I hold it up, I can read it through there. Really looking inwards, really looking at going and evaluating life, really sorting out the piles, and by the way, piles, I mean key areas of your life. What area of your life is needing some of your attention, and I'm feeling like there's some areas, whether it's like health or fitness or just emotional, mental health, that there is that such a busyness and stressfulness about life, and being praised for go, and if you stop and rest, you're lazy and all that sort of stuff. So but I feel like these things need prioritizing, these things need looking at, but it's like, yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow, and tomorrow's not coming, and I'm gonna get goosebumps, and I'm feeling like if you don't take notice of these warning signs, I love the saying, listen to your body, if you listen to the whispers of your body, so you don't have to listen to it scream. So listening to the whispers of your body so you don't have to listen to it scream. And trust me, screaming's not fun. It's painful and it's 10 times messier. So what are those subtle things? And I feel like they're getting louder. You know, what is your body? What are the signs? What are you noticing? You know, you're noticing these things are coming up in your life. You're like, yeah, tomorrow. And it's saying it needs to, it's getting that droughtness, it's getting to the point of breaking. You know, when we get drought, you know, everything dries up and then it cracks. I feel like if something's not done soon, you know, and it doesn't have to be massive, baby steps. Don't think you have to go, if it's health, say like if it's eating, you have to go out tomorrow and change everything and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely not. As a naturopath herbalist, no. Change one thing at a time, make it a habit, and then change another. You know, you could be here for a very long time. You don't have to change everything tomorrow. It makes it more overwhelming, it makes it more stressful, and it's definitely not going to stick. So, you know, this is saying to you, start making those baby steps forward. If not, because cracks are going to start to show. I'm getting goosebumps. Cracks are going to really start to show, and you're not going... It's when the cracks start showing, it means things are falling apart. It means things is getting more to that catastrophe kind of stuff happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm going to say catastrophe, I mean not like world catastrophe, but your life, you know, stuff starts happening, stuff starts not going the way you planned, and this stuff that, this area of your life that's needing your TLC is going to come to the forefront. It's either you can make the choice now to move with it and be able to make it work for you, but once those cracks start showing, it's going to stop everything, and it's going to... It's like why people get sick, so sick, and they have to stay in bed for the week. It's because, or, you know, like going on holidays, people get sick because they go, and then they're finally stopping. And they're not listening to the in-between bits where it's time to rest, time to take it easy. Pardon me, sorry. Take notice. Let's pull another card and see what comes out. See if we can get a little bit more, you know, insight to what's going on or moving forward. Ooh, this is interesting. Very diverse. So this was the first card, and this is the second card, The Mountain. Oh my God. One of my favourite songs. It's a more of a Viking band. It's Wardruna. I can't say it in, I think it's Swedish. It's called The Healing Mountain. Oh, it's so powerful, so beautiful. Really moves me. Anyway, so, you know, if we want more insight, so by making, you know, we're looking at things are drying out. If we don't do things soon, cracks are going to start to show. So if we start taking action now, baby steps, you know, looking at what is that one thing I can change today and make it a habit. Just focus on the one thing. That's it. Nothing else. Just one. You know, this is what's going to happen. You know, the water, the emotions, things are flowing. You know, they've got a beautiful flow. You know that feeling when life's rocking, and, you know, everything seems to be falling into place, and, you know, kind of like that kind of feeling. And with the mountain, with the way she is, I'm seeing things will be more settled. You know, there'll be more blossom. There'll be more... When I say fertility, I don't mean pregnancy. I mean, you know, like with spring, things shooting, new beginnings, things are happening. You know, but she's also taking time to rest as well, and listening to her body, in tune with nature. You know, we sit there and say we don't have time for these things, and... You know, it's funny when the cracks show, and that area that was needing TLC and wasn't getting it, and now it's going to make it happen. You know, once we do the work and get to that better place, we're like, oh shit, should have done this sooner. You know, so take heed, take those step forwards now. You know, yes, it is hard work, but the thing is, it's interesting. Yes, it's hard doing some of the work now, like the shadow work and all those kind of things. The thing is, though, yes, you sort of got to go down before you go up. However, the thing is, yes, that's hard, but you get to go up. It gets to get to like this, all right? And the thing is, without doing it, it's still bubbling away in the background. We use 5% of our brain, right? And the other, so our consciousness, then the subconsciousness is 95% of the stuff that we are unaware of, or things that we're not looking at in our blind spots that are bubbling away in the background. They are still happening. They are still affecting you. Those things that happened as a childhood and other things that you know, that were kind of traumatic and had a huge impact on you are bubbling away in the background. They are still playing out. So these things that, you know, if we keep leaving them, they start cracking, they start showing up in our lives, and they make us stop. They put a, no, you need to do this. You know, if you're having same shit, different day, things coming up, it's different themes in your life. You know I had one where I was attracting liars for years and years and years and could not work it out, and everyone would say to me that, you know, I'm very honest, maybe a bit too honest and a bit blunt at times and all that kind of thing. But it wasn't that I was lying. I was lying to myself about who I was and my abilities, and always putting myself down and all that kind of thing. So what themes are showing up in your life? It's time to move forward. It's time to heal them. It's either a choice now where you have the power to navigate it in the way that could possibly work better for you than compared to when the cracks show and it all crumbles and falls down. But doing this work will give you that spring, that blossom, that fertile life, that happiness, that well-being, and things just flowing a lot better for you. So that was card 2. I hope that helped. You know, let me know, you know, did that resonate? What came up for you? Always listen to your intuition. And at times too, your intuition will add extra messages on it. Or sometimes you might look at the card and go, Belle, I had that message that you all said had no bearing whatsoever, but I got messages off the card. Go for that. That's what you want. That's your intuition knows you better than you. All right. And if you feel like these messages or these card readings can help somebody, give them some insight, some direction or peace of mind, please pass it on. Thank you. Bye. Hello and welcome to card 3. I had to think then. I've got it in my hand. I haven't looked at it. So let's look at it and see what messages are here for you. Oh, forest tears. Oh, this is beautiful. I mean, all the cards are. Also too, you know, you may get messages looking at the card as well, so always go off your intuition and what comes through. That's why I like to hold them up as long as possible, because there's no photos, but at least this way you can sort of pause it and see what comes up for you, or even take a snapshot and keep the picture on you. You might want to keep the picture on you to remind you or give you messages throughout the day. So forest tears. Time to let go, time to, actually I need to look at it. Sometimes I can get it through the video, sometimes I got to look at it. Time to let go, time to honour that inner you, honour that inner child, honour, yeah, I'm feeling a lot of inner child, especially around her face with the tears. I'm seeing child. So, you know, you may be finding childhood stuff come up, past memories, things that come up are asking to be healed. It seems to be a bit of a theme with these videos, this video, these other readings as well. A lot of surrendering, a lot of letting go of, you know, especially in perimenopause, there's a lot of stuff coming up. And if you're not in perimenopause, you can still get messages out of these, because if you do the work and become aware and more educated and more knowledgeable about perimenopause before you get there, you're going to have a lot more nicer transition and journey, because you're going to be aware of things and notice things and not left like some of us feeling crazy and what the hell's wrong with us for years, and just, yeah, downward spiral. And if you've got anxiety and depression, it can be exacerbated. So you can really set those things off. So, you know, if you can do this work beforehand, and, you know, it'd be really cool, women becoming aware of perimenopause and doing this work beforehand and seeing how their journey through perimenopause is. Anyway, yes. So a good way to do this with your inner child, say if you're, and another thing is too, actually, to know when your inner child is needing your attention. So this can work if you have children yourself, or around children, or you have an incident with a child, or, you know, you find a child is annoying you in some way. It doesn't have to be your child. That message is coming through, which I haven't had that part of it before. What this means is, how do you say it? So when, I'll talk from my experience because I'm going to find that easier. So over the years, so Dave and I have all up 7 children. One, I had a stillborn, so there's 6 alive. And so, you know, we're blended and we've got one of ours and all that kind of stuff. So very mixed. But I found over the years with our kids, our oldest is nearly, she's turning 20, she's 19, and our youngest is 6. So you know, I've had a bit of experience, and I found at certain ages with certain, not all kids, like not at every child at that age, but certain ages of particular children, where I found it really challenging, like really pull your hair out kind of parenting, and nothing's working, you know, what's going on, like it's really stressful because you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with my kid? What am I doing? You know, like all this sort of stuff. And what this can be, and it's very interesting to take the time to explore this with a curious mind, is, so let's say if my 6-year-old was sort of really struggling and all that sort of stuff with her and nothing's working, what I'd do is, okay, so what was going on for me at 6? What part of my inner child at 6 is needing some either healing, some TLC, all that. This is inner child work, healing work. And, you know, I'll sit with that. Sometimes it'll just shift, just that acknowledgement, it will just shift it. Sometimes it needs a bit more work. So like journaling or burn letter, or doing a meditation, going into meeting my inner 6-year-old child and talking to her, what does she need? And I can normally have a discussion, and I find then when my inner 6-year-old, then we cuddle, it's like she's coming back into me. It's like that bit of soul retrieval, but in a different way from shamanic work, but she's coming back into me, so that's healing. So that's deep. So you know, really that's what I'm feeling with that, is that inner child work is really needed, and it really does. And you might be finding that, you know, especially through Peri, and our bodies are going through those crazy roller coaster hormones, that you're getting flashbacks or memories just popping up from your childhood. Like, you know, you might remember an incident in grade 5 in the playground where, you know, you got picked on, or, you know, there was an incident that happened and you're like, what the fuck's that come up for? Like, and there's nothing that seems to have triggered it, or something might trigger it. You might see something on TV and you remember, or hear something, or a song, or just random. This is because it's come up to be healed and looked at and take notice of. And, you know, the more that you do that, and even, you know, the power of crying, sometimes you just want to cry. And I find, especially through Peri, I find like, oh my God, like I can cry, especially on TV. I can be a very empathetic crier. You know, somebody is upset, I can feel emotions, I want to cry, or something amazing happen, even if it's something like just something beautiful, and I just think, oh wow, you know, or I just look at my husband or my kids and just think how lucky I am, and now I'm going to get teary, how much I loved them, so tears come up. So, you know, it's learning to honor our tears, you know, time to undo all that conditioning about crying and tears and emotions and that, you know, like there's power in tears, and there's been studies and science and all that sort of stuff that have tested the tear ducts, and they actually have different chemicals in them or different stuff in there. So, you know, as you're processing these emotions, if you need to cry, that's maybe all that needed. Crying, remember, is a part of feeling and working through that emotion. I know, like, say when Miss 6 can get upset, you know, letting her cry it out. I mean, and there's sometimes she cries and what the hell, like Oscar-winning drama, and, you know, and it's just, you know, Dave and I look at each other going, oh my God, like, you know, but it's like, okay, just work through them, allowing her to feel it, and rather than don't stop crying and hold on to that emotion. And, you know, you can feel, as soon as I do that, I stiffened up, you know, hold on to it, you know, don't let that go, don't feel that, don't show that emotion, you know. So by crying, we've got a lot of tears that need to be expressed, a lot of emotions that need to be felt, and just move through. I do recommend, if you need support, reach out to like your GP, your doctor, you know, counselor, psychologist, or some sort of therapy and all that sort of stuff, because it is so beneficial and have so many benefits to work through. You know, when we get to our cronehood, post-menopause, let's have a good life. Let's live it to the fullest and enjoy it, and have a really good well-being, a real good sense of well-being. And a part of that work is dealing with the shit from the past and all that conditioning and crap and all that kind of stuff. So I'll pull another card, because it's interesting how just things come up and go off. So all right, let's see what another card has to say in supporting those inner child and those forest tears. And, you know, and a good healing is get out in nature to those trees, because the air, the oxygen is more dense, it's more beautiful, it's more rich and all that sort of stuff. So even that, just breathing in that rich, beautiful oxygen air is healing, and the body needs it. It thrives so much better. Ooh, darkness. It's feeling like the card. The card, when I put the card down on the table, it did a spin around. So darkness, bit of crow energy there. Actually, pardon me, crow energy is coming out a lot for me, even in my own personal journey and all that sort of stuff. So very interesting. So there is power in our darkness. Darkness, I'm not talking about evil darkness. I'm talking about nighttime darkness, you know, the shadows, the stuff that we keep hidden, the stuff that we, like this inner child stuff, the stuff that's been put away into the darkness. Don't express that. Stop crying. Get over it. Don't be a sissy. You know, all that BS stuff. That's where all those tears, those whole hidden, like, not that, from holding on to all that stuff, you know. This is how our darkness grows, is from all that stuff. So, oh gosh, the more I talk, the more I never noticed there's actually a fair few crows in this, like all up there and even in the backgrounds. I never noticed that. It's interesting how you see different things in cards when you do different readings and all that sort of stuff. You know, you can even get the same card come up for the next person but have a completely different message. Anyway, digressing. So our darkness is there, but it's also grown over the time because of how we've been brought up and how society and all that conditioning and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, don't feel your emotions and all that sort of stuff. But like, she's beautiful. Like, look at all that power, you know. It's going into your darkness and shining that inner light, that, and feeling those emotions and doing that inner work, and it's going deeper. It can be messy and all that sort of stuff, but it's harder to carry that shit for the rest of your life and playing out constantly in that subconscious. So this is about really going into that darkness, really get a support system. I feel like this is saying what does support look like for you? What does support feel like for you? So if I was to ask you, hey honey, what are things and ways that allow you to feel supported? So when you're feeling supported, what is happening? What led to that? How does that work? Really look into that, you know. Is it talking to a girlfriend? Is it talking to a therapist, or seeing a doctor, or a partner, or a family member, or friends, or colleagues, or what is it? You know, really write it down. What are my support systems? So, and add to it, you know, like when I'm feeling down, I can call or message and write their name and number down on this sheet. You know, what other support things? I can journal, you know, even if you have some journal prompts there, you know, I'm feeling crap. I don't know where this crapness is coming from, and just, you know, go into it. You know, is there a movie you can watch or music? Create something in your diary or journal or piece of paper that you can put up somewhere, that, you know, when things are tough and when the darkness is there, when you're in that darkness, what are some of my light that I can bring into this darkness to shine, where I'm supported and I can move through this. Whew, geez, these ones are pretty big today. All the other readings and that, there's a lot of letting go and other things happening. Like, it seems pretty, stuff coming up. So this was the forest tears, like feeling a lot of inner child work. What just stood out from the card was just this section here, just those tears, and I saw a child and crying. So really doing that inner child work and taking notice of the stuff that's coming up, those memories and things. And this is about going into the darkness, creating on a piece of paper or somewhere a support system for you. What is your support network? You know, journaling. When I'm feeling supported, this is what's happened. This is what pardon me, to allow myself to feel supported. These are the things that allow me to feel supported, and write them down and keep them close when you need it. That support thing is part of putting that light in the darkness and feeling those emotions. Okay. So that was card 3. I hope that helped. Let me know, what came up for you, what messages came up for you. And if there's someone that you feel that can benefit from these readings, please do share. All right. Thank you. Bye. Hello and welcome to card 4. So if you want to listen to some other heavier readings or full-on readings, check out the cards before. So there seems to be an interesting pattern of letting go and surrender in those. and a bit of shadow work too. So this card, interestingly enough, because I don't pull these cards over until I start the video so I can get the full message for me. And it's funny because I actually went to pull it over before I start, so I feel like there's a rush going on. What are we rushing towards? So, gather. This one hasn't come up, so cool. Some of the other cards came up from all the other readings and that, so it's nice to... I've got a bit of the shake, sorry. It'll be the endo. So gatherings, so putting all our fruits. It's time to... we've got the hummingbird. Oh, you know, the hummingbird, like I'd love to just go over, see somewhere to spend some time with hummingbirds. You know, they are the smallest things. They defy complete, I think it's physics or science or whatever, because of how tiny they are and how much they can, how far they fly. Like, you know, you've been through the rat race, you've been through a lot of stuff, like, you know, but you've defied the odds, you've survived your hardest days, you know, you're not a survivor, you're a warrior, you know, not just a survivor, a warrior too. You know, it's time now to just stop and smell the roses, to take notice and look at all the beautiful fruit she has in her basket. What have you gained through all your, you know, that hummingbird, through that journey to get to the place you are now? What have you learnt? What have you gained? You know, look at those shitty experiences and traumas and pains, but with the curious mind and the aspect of what did I learn from it? What did I gain? Did it lead me to connect with this person or that career or this or that? And, you know, that experience, and, you know, how has it made me a better person? What have I learned from it? If I could go back to, say, you know, my 15-year-old self, my teenager self, my 20-year-old self, my 30-year-old self, 40-year-old self, 50-year-old self, 60-year-old self, whatever, at different parts of your life, if you could go back now, knowing with all that knowledge and wisdom you've gained, what would be your advice? What would be your wisdom? What would you share? Write it down. That's really valuable stuff, but I feel like that's what those fruit in the basket, you know, we need fruit. It helps us bodies to heal, to thrive, to be nourished, you know, and you've gained so much. So it's like putting it all in the basket and going, yes, there were shit times and all that sort of stuff, because we've all had them, we've all got them, and there's still more coming. But along the way, what were the nuggets? What were the gold nuggets or the gems that you picked up along the way? You know, this is really great in switching the perspective of things. You can't change your past. The only thing you can change about your past is the present moment perspective you have on it. You know, so you can shift that and change that to allow it to work for you. So when you look at things that have happened in your past and have caused, you know, some pain and trauma there, there's some other things you learn and gain. They do, you know, they do make you a better person, but at times we can focus on the trauma and the pain too much. And the thing is, with doing this work, it's about going back and visiting those times, not staying, not reliving or whatever. It's just, hey, I'm sticking my head in, I'm having a look. What did I learn? What did I gain from this? How did this make me a better person? You know, write down, what are the things you learned from them? These are all your wisdom nuggets you've gained, you know. Start putting it all together. Start being kind and gentle to yourself. Start being loving, I'm getting goosebumps, and kind and compassionate. Giving yourself time and space to process these things, marinate these things. And, you know, also too, I'm feeling like when you write all these things down and you look at them, you know, especially those things of like, what would I go back and tell myself at different ages in my life? Or, you know, you might be as a child, or you know, you might want to do it 10 by 5s or 10s, or, you know, like in 10, 20, 30, or 5, 10, 15, 25, or just certain times of your life or certain ages that call out to you. You know, something might have happened to you at, say, 19, and you want to address that. You know, look back at those things. You know, you're just going to visit and not there to stay. But it's time to bring all those nuggets and wisdoms and put them in your bucket. And like, she's got them in a basket. She's got them over her heart. So this work and this practice of doing this is done from a place of love, from a place of that loving intention, but also being loving and kind to yourself through this process as well. So let's have because we pulled extra cards for the other ones, other card readings. So let's see what other messages or messages to go in deeper with the Gatherer. Oh, forest bathing. Lots of interesting cards compared to the other ones. So we got forest bathing. Look at that beautiful green. And see, right, here it is. So we've gained all our knowledge. We're putting it all down in writing. We're really becoming aware and focusing on the goodness and the things that we've learned, the things that we've gained, writing down those wisdom and things that we go back to ourselves and share, or all that sort of stuff. And when we do that, see the eggs here, that's new beginnings, new things are happening. See the cracking and all that sort of stuff. You're doing the work, you're having breakthroughs, you're shifting your perspective, you're looking and focusing more on the optimistic things, so more the lighter things and all that sort of stuff. But it's alchemy work, really, because you're turning the darkness, the pain and the trauma, you're turning it into gold, you're turning it into gems, you're turning it into nuggets. You're allowing them to work for you, and it's gonna lighten your load. It is like I suffer from, like, I have endometriosis, one of the top 10 or 20 most painful diseases, and I think I have fibro on there, and there's a few others. But the endometriosis, I suffer like with severe debilitating pain. I've got to get organised to go have surgery again, and I think this is about my third surgery in 3 years, or 4, no, 3 years I think it is. Plus I've had procedures and all that other stuff, so, you know, hopefully. But anyway, but what I'm trying to say is, even though, right, it's finding my well-being in where I'm at now. So my endometriosis, yes, I can go into remission and have moments without pain and all that sort of stuff, hence the surgery, upcoming surgery, but it's not going to change. It's not a disease that at this point we have a cure for. So I'm not going to reach that perfect health, right? No such thing anyway. But the thing is, I can still find peace, happiness, the good things in life, the things that light me up and allow me to feel good. Right? I know that sounds so contradicting, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm saying I'm in pain a lot, like I'm on medications and stuff like that, but I'm in pain a lot. But at the same time, when I go to sleep feeling grateful, and I feel blessed, and yes, I acknowledge my disease, but at the same time, I've got so much to be grateful for and thankful for, and that's what this work is, you know, through perimenopause, and it's actually having, and working on my mindset and my emotions is actually having a positive effect when I have flare-ups, or, you know, even when the perimenopause symptoms, because I find sometimes, like, I go through lulls, but then I go through peaks. Like, I won't get so many symptoms, then all of a sudden hot flushes, forgetfulness, and just overwhelm, heart palpitations. So, you know, it feels like I'm constantly stuck in an anxiety attack and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, dog winner. He doesn't go off too often. So anxiety and panic attacks and all that sort of stuff. So I'm finding they're happening less and less, but at the same time, so when they do flare up, that dog doesn't want me to go off. It sounds like someone's next door. That my flare-ups aren't as intense. In my endo pain and all that sort of stuff, I'm not getting so caught up in the pain. I'm not feeling like the pain is swallowing me in a big black hole and I can't get out and my whole life just crumbles in those flare-up times. I'm actually finding doing this work and working on my well-being through perimenopause and doing all of this sort of stuff, like, you know, in the Autumn Chrome membership, we're doing deep work and all that kind of stuff, and stuff coming up and all that kind of stuff, and working through it is actually having a huge impact on my well-being. And, you know, I'm finding I'm feeling good and happiness even despite some health stuff. Does that make sense? I hope so. That makes sense. If not, let me know. So by doing this work, you know, you're collecting all this stuff and going, actually, I've learnt lots. You know, we talk about going to school and learning and all that, but life is learning. Like, that's life. Life is like a big school. We're learning, you know, what are those life lessons, you know, and then it's taking them and it's, you know, looking at those eggs and creating new amazing things and new opportunities for you that can come up, you know. They're cracking, it's happening, you know. Patience, keep going, you know. Sometimes things works in divine timing, not so much our timing, you know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but, you know, it is coming, it is happening, and I just feel really light with this these cards, and I feel like it's time to just take a break and reap all those rewards. Time to bring in all that knowledge, time to become aware of it, time to really step into that and just take a breather and go, fuck man, life's been hard, but you know what? Geez, I've learned some really good things about it. And you know, those good things that I've learned, even though they're really terrible, I've turned them into that alchemy. I've turned them into those gold nuggets, and I can help somebody else. That for me is like an ultimate feeling with the work I do. You know, it's things like the sexual abuse I experienced in my teens and childhood, that, you know, in doing the work, and, you know, stuff still comes up, still keep doing that work, still peeling back that onion, but I'm able to talk to other women about it. I'm able to offer some sacred space for them to work through it. And although I wish nobody else went through it, it's not reality. And it's same as like when my son died, you know, in my womb, you know, it's one of those, it is the most traumatic thing I've ever been through. And I've got a list I can choose a fair few things off. So it's like, sometimes those lessons are harder, you know, but at the same time, his death, it was pivotal in my life. My life was shattered beyond belief. It was shattered to the point I couldn't. There was no rebuild in my life. That was it. It was never going to be the same again. I had to remake a life, if that makes sense. I couldn't rebuild it with all the broken pieces anymore. They were just too broken, you know. And there was lots of stuff, lots of lessons that came out of that, and there still is. But you know, from that, I'm able to talk to other women and that have lost children and connect with them and hopefully help give them some insight and just an ear to somebody to listen to and share, you know. And again, more tears fall. So, you know, it's turning those things in. Where can we help others, especially through perimenopause and into, you know, our cronehood. It is about that cronehood. You know, we go through a shift, and I think it's Erik Erikson's theories, one of his theories of, and when we get to that sort of cronehood later age, it's about giving back to the next generation, helping the next generation and all that kind of stuff. So doing this work, gaining our wisdom, gaining our knowledge and becoming aware of it so that we can give back to society, we can give back to the next generation and hopefully help them, guide them in a way that's beneficial for them. I hope that makes sense. So those are the cards for card reading 4. I hope they help. These are really light and beautiful, and I shouldn't say light, but they're full of more that light motions and feelings and contemplating and sitting. I feel like just sit in what you've learned and be proud and sit in that. Fuck yeah, like I'm here, I'm still doing it. You know, like pat yourself on the back, celebrate, you know, all that other stuff. All right. I hope that helped. Let me know below what came up for you. I hope it makes sense. Some of it didn't to me, but that's okay. I'm just going with what comes through. If you feel like this could help somebody else, please feel free to share. Thank you. Bye.